think these next three all have potential somewhat to land in the first round. Um, but I think Brian's ranking is different from myself and JG's. Brian has Michael Penix at 4, JJ McCarthy at 5, and Bo Nix at 6. We all have Bo Nix at 6. Um, and I think the general public probably has Bo Nix at 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So we're we're kind of on we're kind of rare right now because we got Penix and JJ at 4 or 5, all of us. Me and SportsFan got JJ at 4 for similar reasons.
Yeah.
Brian, your Penix at 4. Let's hear it.
So I think this may be a plug and play versus like potential situation because as we had this conversation off air before we started, 4 through 6 feel very scheme dependent, um, regardless of what happens. But I just think I feel like I like, even though JJ's got an arm, he can move, he's mobile, he's accurate, all that good stuff. I believe Michael's a little bit, how do I put it? I think I like his
Or
arm talent a
refined.
little bit more than JJ. Even though JJ's good, and he can play above the offense. I don't think it's a like a game manager situation with him. But I think I just like Michael's arm talent a little bit more. I am concerned. The way he played against Michigan did concern me though, because it felt like at one point Michigan was just like, all right, if you could throw it over the second level of the defense, then we'll tip our cap. But he just wasn't able to put the touch on the passes that was necessary. So I do think they might have to work on his mechanics a little bit more so footwork wise, especially if he's like under pressure. And obviously that's something that you have to that's something that would concern a lot of people. So I'm looking forward to see what he looks like in the combine and also throughout the rest of these Senior Bowl practices in the actual game. But I think I just like I think I feel like he can make all the throws, and I feel like he could play a little bit more outside the scheme than JJ can. Even though JJ has improvisational skills as well and can make things happen.
So for these three, the reason so I have Penix at 5, but the main reason that I could not possibly put him at 4 is that out of these three, he has the one major flaw that I don't think will be corrected at the next level. And that, and it's not because the actual, like you said, if he can make the throws to the second level, then he'll be fine. But he couldn't do it in that game. But the major flaw that he has that the other two currently don't is that if you pressure him, he cannot do a single thing against
Yeah.
you. And you can scheme up quick stuff, like you can scheme up a bunch of bubble screens, slants, flat routes. But at the end of the day, if you start doing that, he's no better than JJ McCarthy as a virtual game manager.
Yeah.
So I do think he has better arm talent than Bo Nix. I do think he's more accurate than Bo Nix, but he's not a better mover than Bo Nix. So 5 and 6 is what it is. But I don't think you can put him over JJ just because I do think all three are kind of scheme dependent. But I think JJ, if you look at them all like that, and then you look at JJ, who I do think has much better traits than the other two, I think he's just scheme dependent. And then it's the plus. It's like the potential. He's younger than the other two. It's like
Mm.
you don't know, but he has the ability that you may be able to mold him as the quarterback of your system. So like if he lands in the right situation, I don't know, if he lands in Denver, maybe Sean Payton puts him in an offense where he doesn't have to make too many reads immediately. But you look 4 years down the line and he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So I really wouldn't be surprised if JJ McCarthy, I think he has more top half of the league quarterback potential than Penix and Bo Nix do.
Okay. Before you go, JG, I know we had a conversation like a couple weeks ago about a certain comparison. Uh, do you think there's a better comparison for McCarthy than Purdy with traits, or is that just where it is?
That's the one, man. That's the one.
Yeah, I'm about to say the reason why I kind of have just JJ at number one, well, number one in
4,
this
yeah.
tier is just just thinking about it, where the league's going offensively and which quarterbacks are kind of succeeding the best in this kind of system, it's kind of like a JJ McCarthy type quarterback. West Coast can throw the ball quickly, don't have to do too much, but he'll get it there usually most of the time. He can improvise a little, like just like Brock can. Even though Brock wasn't some type of crazy prospect, he was Mr. Irrelevant for a reason.
Yeah,
I just believe JJ can do similar things, if not better. Um, the thing about Penix, well, technically, I believe he's a better quarterback right now than these two. He's 24. He's like a 6-year senior. I fear that he probably hit his ceiling. Kind of when he get drafted, that'll probably be what he is. I mean, sure, he can develop into 25, 26, but at this point, you've been playing college football 6 years. You're coming back, what? Yeah, 2 ACL tears,
yeah,
right? It's
2 ACLs, and I believe he had a shoulder injury as well.
yeah. So it's like I'm not sure how much more he can develop. He's a fine pocket passer, but in the league of where pocket passers like that don't really succeed too well, or especially when they get under pressure or when their talent is kind of taken away from them, it doesn't look well. Not their talent themselves, but the outside talent,
yeah.
because you end up looking like Tua. And I don't think he'll be as bad as Tua as he could be worse now I think about it. But I think his arm's a little stronger than Tua. I'll give him that.
He
But
has a much better arm than Tua, but
he's more better
Tua
than Tua.
throws over the middle with anticipation much better.
Yeah, yeah, I think
So
Tua's
it's
way
like
ahead.
I don't know, man, and I mean, at this stage, Tua initially came in. He was a much better mover than Penix was, but
Yeah,
Tua this year was literally almost a statue in the pocket. He barely took off. Um, I think the thing with Tua is he lucked up into a pretty good situation with Mike McDaniel where he doesn't have to make as many reads in his offense. So I don't know. Maybe Penix gets in a situation, but like I said, it's like if you start drawing up that quick stuff for him, he's no more than a game manager type quarterback then.
yeah,
So it's like if they're all potential game managers, I'm gonna take the one who has the most traits,
Yeah,
and I
I think
think JJ has the most upside out of all of them.
yeah,
Bo Nix, he
he's a
hasn't ran
guy.
an offense. He
Here's
hasn't
a
ran
guy.
an
Here's a
NFL
guy.
offense, man. He's about the same age as Penix as well. He's been in college since I was,
yeah,
but he's older than me. So, and I graduated last year. But yeah, but he's a pretty old guy. Um, and he didn't play in a real NFL offense. It was a lot of slants and goes and screens, a lot of stuff behind the line of scrimmage, and so you have a lot of the same concerns with the offense that you had when Justin Herbert was there because people fell out of love with Justin Herbert because of that last year, but the play calling at Oregon was just really bad. And they weren't running an NFL type of offense, and they still aren't. Bo Nix, he struggles with accuracy. He hasn't really shown the ability to make the the throws with the route variety. So you don't really know if he has experience throwing a 15-yard comeback, 15-yard out, 20-yard post. It's not much experience making these type of throws. So it's like I don't want to say you're drafting an unknown, but for him to be going on 24 years old, you kind of want to have a more solidified idea on what he's good at and what he's not so good at. I think with Penix, you do have a solidified idea of what he is actually good at. He throws a great deep ball. He has a pretty good arm and you already know that he can't move in the pocket. So you can prepare for that. With Bo Nix, it's like he's going to land in camp, and it's like, okay, we got to figure him out a little bit. And I do think he doesn't have a superstar arm, and I think that probably would have carried him to like QB4 if he did. His arm is probably like slightly above average in comparison, but I think JJ has a better arm, and I think Penix probably has a better arm as well. So it's like I don't know what he does better than the other two, so I think he's pretty comfortable at QB6 for me. I don't really see the QB4 hype for him that other outlets are giving him.
I think it may be
Um,
because of his level of mobility. He's definitely a more will. I think he's a more
Yeah,
willing runner than Penix is, and I think that the two ACLs are a big reason why Penix has become more of a pocket passer. Because I know back at Indiana he used to run a little bit more, so it may come down a little bit to if he's willing to be a more willing runner once he gets to the league. Now it's possible that never happens, and then of course at that point, again the issue of him playing against pressure arises. But I don't. I just feel like again, obviously all these quarterbacks are scheme dependent. And I feel like, and I think I agree with y'all where like if it were a bad situation, I probably favor JJ more just because of his level of mobility and his willingness to play above to extend plays and make things happen. Um, yeah, I think I can see that. So I can see why you guys would have McCarthy over Penix. I just think I just have a I don't know. I think I just have a semi bias and preference for Penix over McCarthy, but I don't. But they're not that far off. So like mine could easily be swayed going into the draft.
Yeah,
Quick
and
thing.
Penix, I looked up the injury history. It was I think two ACLs and 2 seasons that were ended with shoulder injuries, one to each shoulder.
Cool. That's tough.
Yeah,
He's
so
that looks
he's
like
been through a lot. Adversity,
he's
a lot of
mentally
Medical
tough.
adversity.
pressures,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
But the thing about I think about Bo Nix, why he's will be at 4, why most teams will probably like him, just based on a virtue of just experience. Um, he has to be a smart quarterback. I would hope he's a smart quarterback at this point. You set the college record for 61 starts. I hope you're at least intelligent. Some teams just want a smart quarterback. They won't. They know he probably won't make all the throws, but he's smart enough to at least know what the throws are. I'm assuming that's probably why he's up there. I think his arm is stronger than what Mingles is giving credit for. He's just inaccurate as fuck, so it don't really matter to begin with. But
That's
I think his
different.
arm is stronger. He just
You think he has
has
a stronger arm than Penix?
yeah,
No,
without a doubt. Without a
no,
doubt. Yes.
no.
Yes.
You don't
Yes.
really believe that.
I
You don't really
do.
believe that.
Well,
I
we
swear
got
I do.
the Senior Bowl Saturday,
Yeah,
so I'm sure one or
I
two of them will have to throw
swear.
the deep.
Where
I think out of the
his
six
arm
quarterbacks,
okay. He's not more accurate than Penix, but just throwing the ball as hard as possible. I think Bonus can do that better than Penix.
mm, yeah, you lost me. You really lost me with that last part.
Okay.
When they do that drill where they have
Have
when
they
they do
just
the
run a
radar
fly
gun,
route? Yeah.
yeah, Penix.
Am I
Nah,
power gun?
no, when they do the radar,
Yeah, do the
Oh,
radar
gotcha,
gun.
gotcha, gotcha.
Penix is he might break that record. I'm gonna
Okay.
be honest.
You,
Nah,
you, you want to bet money?
we gotta get close to that drill. I gotta make sure he's healthy. Gotta wait for the physical to
You
come.
gonna get hurt on the way there?
No. He might come by
You got to make sure the
man. They
shoulder's
might,
okay.
yeah, they might just tell him to sit down for that one. I don't know.
Practice this week?
The Senior Bowl. I'm talking about at the combine. New
Or something
doctors.
gonna happen in between them two?
New doctors,
Oh, new
new
doctors,
doctors,
right?
new doctors.
NFL team doctors, you're right. You got me. Okay.
Exactly. They'll be much more concerned.